You're listening to an African Elements top news story for July 4th, 2025. Please visit our website at africanelements.org for more daily news. The Supreme Court has allowed the Trump administration to deport 8 men to South Sudan, a country described as war-torn. This ruling is a victory for the administration's immigration crackdown and raises questions about due process and humanitarian concerns. The affected individuals primarily come from countries other than South Sudan, including Myanmar, Laos, Vietnam, Cuba, and Mexico. Only one of the 8 men is from South Sudan. The conservative-leaning Supreme Court's decision overturned a lower court's injunction that required migrants to argue against deportation to a third country. The court's brief order did not explain its decision, but aligns with previous rulings allowing deportations. A district court had ruled in favor of the migrants, stating they must receive a credible fear interview in their native language and at least 15 days to challenge deportations. Attorney General Pam Bondi criticized the lower court's ruling, calling it a rebuke to Judge Brian Murphy's decision. Due process concerns are central to this case, referring to the legal rights individuals have before removal from the U.S. Trina Rael Muto, executive director of the National Immigration Litigation Alliance, criticized the Supreme Court's decision, stating it strips away critical due process protections. Justice Sonia Sotomayor, joined by Justices Elena Kagan and Ketanji Brown Jackson, expressed strong dissent, highlighting that the government had already deported one plaintiff to Guatemala despite an immigration judge's finding of likely torture. Justice Sotomayor noted that 6 more individuals were deported to South Sudan in violation of a court order. She criticized the administration for acting in violation of lower court orders, implying unequal legal standards for those seeking protection. The Trump administration claims the deported individuals are violent criminals with final orders of removal, having been convicted of serious crimes. Immigration and Customs Enforcement confirmed that the 8 men sent to South Sudan had final orders of removal. McLaughlin, a government official, called the decision a win for the rule of law and American safety. This decision fits within the broader context of the Trump administration's immigration policies, which aim to deport millions of unauthorized individuals and seek agreements with other countries to house immigrants. A June 14th memo discussed expanding the travel ban list and noted that 36 additional countries, including South Sudan, could accept deported immigrants. The humanitarian consequences for those deported to South Sudan are concerning, as the country is considered too unsafe for U.S. personnel. Lawyers for the migrants argued they would face torture or degrading treatment if deported. The broader challenge to the administration's policy is still underway in lower courts. This Supreme Court decision sets a legal precedent for future deportation cases, affirming the administration's ability to deport migrants to third countries without extensive due process protections. The ruling signals a streamlined approach to deportations, potentially eroding due process protections for other migrants. Justice Sotomayor's comments about the administration having the Supreme Court on speed dial raise alarms about preferential treatment in future cases. Human rights groups and legal advocates view the decision as a setback for due process and a potential increase in humanitarian risks for deportees. They worry about the safety of individuals sent to unstable regions. The information does not detail specific international agreements with South Sudan for these deportations, but indicates ongoing efforts to find countries willing to accept deported migrants. The push to expand the list of potential receiving countries, particularly in Africa, highlights a strategy to accelerate deportations at the expense of legal protections and humanitarian considerations. The decision underscores the challenges faced by immigrant communities and their advocates in navigating complex legal landscapes and evolving immigration policies. Copyright African Elements.